Hello, friends, and happy Saturday. I am so excited about today's video and the topic that I'm going to be discussing today. I have just, I know that God's going to use this message to touch that person that needs to hear this, or those people that need to hear this. So, we all are victims of busyness. And all of us at one point or another have felt, if I could just get, those 5 minutes of rest, if I could just find time to sit down and read a book, if I could just, get away for a moment to be able to come back restored. So it happens in so many of our areas of life, whether we're a parent, mother or father, in our personal relationships with friends and coworkers, at work, or even just feeling like you're always on the go. These are all areas of life and where we find ourselves trying to fill each one of those buckets, and before we know it, we're burned out. So motherhood, if you have children, is in itself beautiful chaos. I mean, you find yourself in the beginning stages of life where you are trying to raise your newborn, get to know your newborn. You are sleep deprived. You and your partner trying to figure out a schedule, and the list goes on. And then as they grow older, they become involved in activities, and the busyness just doesn't stop. There's always more to do, and fill your bucket with a lot of things. And just when you believe that you have that moment of 3 or 4 minutes in the restroom, or you're in the shower, your little toddler's feet, you can begin to hear them just pattering and coming into the room, because they just can't be without us, right? They love us. They want every waking second of their lives to be near us. And while it is just the cutest thing, I personally call my little baby my koala, because she just wants to be near me all the time. And I absolutely love it. But there are moments where I need to find a little stillness. And it hasn't come easy to myself either, in many areas of life. And if motherhood, if you're not a mother, if you're not a parent, and that but you're still extremely busy, that is totally possible. Work in itself, other relationships are extremely demanding, and having a job that demands a lot from you, whether it be projects, or just your boss needing you to go in all the time, and filling that empty space in the schedule, or deadlines that need to be met. All of that can feel so heavy, and you try to fit in as much as possible in your life when it comes to work, on top of your already busy life with your spouse, with your children, and with other, with family members. Some of us have, whether you have an elderly parent you have to care for, that on its own is such, a big responsibility that takes up a lot of your time. And we're all on the go, and society wants us to believe that the more that we do, the more successful and productive we are. And culture is not very welcoming of rest. And I'm sure many of us have had, people around us that love to thrive about how busy they are. And in a sense, at times it can make the other person feel that they are just not doing enough. And it's not necessarily just, when it comes to work or when it comes to motherhood, but it can also, this idea of busyness equaling success can also come into play, with our weight, how much weight we have to lose, what kind of new, now there are med spas in every corner, and it's amazing because it helps us really preserve and take care of our skin and all of that, but it could also have a negative impact on some people when they feel they just have to continue to look a certain way at a certain age. And Jesus is here to remind us that it's not about what's on the outside, but it's and it sounds so cliche, but it's not. And you truly, when you find God's peace, you learn to realize that it's all of those things and all of that busyness, we're just enveloped in it. And there's a verse that I would like to share today that has helped me immensely, and it is output there by God's word for us to learn it, memorize it, apply it. And it's Psalm 23. And I'm more than certain you have heard this verse multiple times, and I'm more than certain, I know I have, and you read it and we keep going. It is our human nature to just try to go, be in the car, pack the kids up, take them to the soccer game. We forget to eat. And the list goes on. And it is just such a beautiful word that I feel if can help many of us be reminded and of how to be still. And it starts off by reminding us that the Lord is our shepherd, and that if breaking down these verses really helps us understand what he's trying to tell us. And knowing that the Lord is our shepherd, I mean, I don't know about you, but knowing that I have someone to take care of me really gives me a sense of I don't have to worry. It gives me a sense of, okay, there's someone greater than I, greater than this world, that has like the best out there for me. And that no matter what, my soul can rest in knowing that I'm taken care of. And that's what Jesus wants us to know, is no matter how busy you are, know that, or no matter where your life is, know that he is your shepherd. And there is many verses in the Bible that describe the job description or what shepherds do. And if you're more of a visual person, there is a new series that came out. I believe it's called Goliath, and it's on Amazon Prime. And so as you know, David is the shepherd boy who defeated Goliath. And I actually went through the book of 1 Samuel in one day, and it was such a good read. But it really explained a lot about David's life and how before he became king, it explained how he was and who he was and the shepherd that he was and what his tasks were. And in both the book of Samuel and in the series show, you're able to see how he cares for his sheep. And it doesn't matter what danger is coming towards them. His task is to protect his sheep. And I know at one point, it's in the series, you see it's a lion trying to get that sheep, and he does whatever it takes to make sure that sheep is safe. And it's one little sheep that ran off. And of course, sometimes we are that little sheep, and God finds a way to reel us back in. And so knowing that God protects us the way these shepherds protect their sheep is, rest in knowing that that is what he's giving you. That is what you have. And nothing you do can take that away. And so when we know that God is our shepherd, it really can help put things into perspective and give you that sense of peace. The verse goes on to say, I have all that I need. So the Lord is my shepherd. I have all that I need. And I know I personally at times have felt, well, if I could just, have this over here, or if I could just, I know there's something that I have been praying about, and I always say, well, if I could just have this, and my life would be, a lot better. And I'm certain that everyone has something they feel that they need, whether it be like I said, losing 5 pounds. If we could just appear to be 10 years younger, if we could just, be able to have those extra funds. The list can go on. If I could just have that car, if I could just have that promotion or that job, then everything would be set into place, right? And it's the list goes on. Like I said, you get on social media or even on TV, and you see these ads. That's the next outfit, the next pair of shoes, or there's more and more and more that you'll always feel that you need. But if you take a step back, and if you're ever feeling that what you have is not enough, that is a lie. Rest in knowing that God has you right where you need to be. And, know that when you, I guess, accept that you have everything you need, then you'll see how big God is. So it brings you, if just saying that, going from saying all the things that the culture wants us to think that we need and buy and accomplish and do, while accomplishments are good, it's knowing that just because you have it isn't going to make your life better. So you're right where you need to be. And if you are trying to achieve a new career, if you're trying to achieve a new promotion, rest in knowing that at the moment of where you are, you have everything you need in it, and just, you're going to be just fine where you are, and he will provide everything we need. And everything we need isn't necessarily everything that we want, but he knows what to give us in each circumstance and at the right time. And there are times where we see what we want. For instance, if you're trying to achieve some kind of educational accomplishment, and you're trying to just, be an overachiever, or be the best at it, which is all, they're great tactics, but at what expense, right? There's always that question as to what am I sacrificing, or what am I giving up for this thing that I feel that I need. And it's good to just take a step back and recite these verses and look at your life in a sense where you really jot down and begin to prioritize and see the true blessings, right? Now, I'm not telling you, don't go accomplish things, don't go searching for that promotion. Having an attitude of a go-getter is great, but there's a difference between being, having that time management and having, that stillness. And I'm going to go there next, but it's you can achieve all of that, but it's the way that you do it. And so if just rest in knowing that the Lord is your shepherd and you have everything that you need, helps us find peace in the situation that we're in at the moment. He makes us lay down in green pastures and leads us beside peaceful streams. And that alone to me sounds like a spa. So I know that that to me sounds so peaceful. And so, but what that really means is that if you rest in knowing in his stillness and take time to notice the beautiful clouds, notice the flowers, notice the trees, notice all of these things that God has created, it's going to allow you to rest. So rest in itself is, it gives us restoration. And I can personally attest that having rest brings me back a better person. And it truly, even if you feel you have, a list of to-do things, if you feel, all of these things need to get done, and it's more than likely that you're rushing yourself. And take time to weed out all of those small things that are not that important and rest in those green pastures. And that rest and stillness is what's going to bring you back 1,000 times more productive. And I can promise you that. Anybody who just overexerts themselves is and burns out at a certain stage in life. I mean, that is forced rest. Let's not get to that part. Take time within your week. And if you don't want to do it every week, maybe every 2 weeks. Everybody knows their own threshold. But find time to rest. And that for anybody can be different. But for me, it's small areas that are sprinkled in between my week and where I find rest. A lot of the time, it's cutting back on what my to-do list has to hold. And, it's us accepting that we don't, have to be on the go. We don't have to accomplish all these things that society tells us we have to do. So I invite you today and this week to find that rest, to find that moment of rest. And just know that whatever it is that is out there, that is pressing, that is pushing, that is just tugging at you and, tugging you left, tugging you right, there's a way to calm it down. And each one of us knows what we can weed out. I can't tell you, don't take your kid to soccer today. But know that there is a community out there that you can tap into. I'm more than certain, that we can find ways. And if you don't have any other avenue, if you are a single mom and you have exhausted yourself to the point where you have no one to call, I do truly encourage you to find that stillness even more. Maybe when your kids are asleep, find that stillness and find a way to restore yourself. Turn that cell phone off. Stop looking at the things that we need or you want to buy or what could be better. And it all comes into knowing that we have everything we need. We have, a shelter over our heads. We have clothing. It's just the basic necessities, I feel. And everything else is just extra. And, I know that life for some of us is harder. And it is not just about, looking younger or losing those 10 pounds. There are deeper issues in life, for some people. And, I truly know that I have those people in my prayers all the time, because I can't imagine how difficult, it must be. But I can tell you that God is a good God. And I do want to take time to share at the moment. I know this, this is something personal, but if there is a single mom out there that's watching this, I grew up with a mother who was single, and she worked multiple jobs to put food on the table, to make sure that we had everything that we needed. And I am just so grateful for the upbringing that I had. And it makes me emotional because I know that it is not easy. And as the older child, a lot of the times I had to take on responsibilities, that an older child has to do in order to make sure our household was taken care of. And and that's probably why I have such a nurturing spirit towards my children, to my siblings. It's like you're a second mom, and I'm very blessed to have had that upbringing. But where I'm going with is my mom. I know you all have seen this story in the Bible, and my mom actually is a living testimony of that. And at one point in her life, she gave her life to Christ. She did not have much to offer, but she gave absolutely everything she had to God. And I admire her for having that big of faith, and God showed up for her. There was never anything that we lacked. And sometimes, like, I want to tell, I feel like this message is speaking to somebody right now. But if you are someone who feels like you are just lost, and if you feel like you don't have everything that you need, I encourage you to dive really deep and find God. Keep going to church. Don't give up. Don't think that, this stillness is never going to find you. That, it's there. God's going to provide for you and your family. And rest in knowing that He is your shepherd. He's going to give you everything that you need. He will make a way for you to have, that extra fund that you need to pay that bill. I pray over whoever this message is for today. And my heart is with you all, and know that, there are so many resources out there, but I pray that the resource that you need finds you. And I know that it will, because our God is such a good God, and He won't ever abandon us. And even though we go through the valley of the shadow of death, which is an extension of this, He will comfort you. He will be there, and He is our provider. And so I don't know how many times, I know personally, I have been in situations where it has felt like I just don't have an out with certain things. And it's probably my own deadline that I put on myself. But God has shown up. And He has just shown up when I just hand it over to Him. I mean, and sometimes it's like less than 24 hours later. And it's just amazing to see those things that God has done for me. And I know that because He's done them for me, He's done them for you. He'll do them for you. And that's why I'm here in these videos, just sharing His word, to remind you all that, the end of it is, surely His goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. And it will. I can promise you that when you give your life to Him, He is going to just blow you away. And again, it may not be how you see it, but He will give you everything you need. And we are stubborn. We can say, well, this is how I want to do it, and I'm going to do it anyway because it looks like this is the way I need to go. Well, He's going to be our shepherd, and He's going to bring us back. He's going to bring us back onto the path we need to be on. And this is good, right? So I want to just take time as I end in this to remind you that His goodness and His mercy will follow you all the days of your life. It is not conditional. He's going to be there for you no matter what. Just trust Him. Trust in the Lord, and He will provide. Trust that He is your good shepherd, and He has your best interest at heart. Give him your heart, give him your life, surrender it all. Let him show you how amazing he can be. So Lord, today I want to take time. I want to close this out in prayer. And I know that your message today was for somebody. I know that it spoke to somebody specific. And I pray for that person, God. I pray for those who find themselves in situations and where they don't have that stillness, and where they feel they cannot rest, and where they feel just overwhelmed, drowned, and engulfed by all of these things that they feel that they need, Lord. I pray for that exhaustion that they're feeling. I pray for that depletion that they have. I pray that you give them the strength. And not only strength, but allow them to pull back and find that stillness so that they can receive your restoration. I pray, Lord, for them, and that you give them exactly what they need. Because I know that you can, and I know that you will. You are a good God. You are a faithful God. And in this busyness, it's so hard sometimes to hear you and to see you working. So Lord, I pray that each and every person that's seeing this video today, and even those who aren't, I just pray that we help those souls who are extremely busy take a step back and rest in your green pastures, Lord. You are a good God, and we are so thankful for everything that you've given us. In your Jesus' name, we pray, amen. So I leave you today with that beautiful word. And as I sign out, I just want to say thank you so much for watching these videos and taking time out of your day. My goal is only to be able to share his goodness, speak his truth, share it, and hope that it can make a difference in somebody's life, and that they too are touched by how good God has been to us all, and identify, that he's all we need. So until the next video, I hope y'all have a beautiful Saturday. And if you guys have anything that y'all want to share, or want to have have somebody pray over, you can just comment, and don't forget to share this video with someone that you think may benefit from it. My heart goes out to you all. Y'all have a wonderful day.